Now, you might remember last week, after a long editorial about the latest developments, the shocking developments in Victoria, about how we suddenly learned that Daniel Andrews had deceived us over his curfew. It was not based on expert advice. I tacked on this little aside. And some evidence is emerging that Victorians might have had enough. I want to show you an online survey. It's run on Twitter, which normally you wouldn't pay any attention to. But this is run by The Age newspaper, and it asks people if they support the Andrews government's roadmap out of lockdown. And almost 84% of people say no, they don't. This is The Age on Twitter. So you'd think it's a sample that's as left-wing as you can get, as supportive of Daniel Andrews as you could possibly imagine. And they are emphatically opposed to the Andrews plan. We will see. But given what's happening on the ground in Victoria now and how people are being spun lines and treated like chumps, it would hardly be surprising. Now, over at the ABC, where they spend your tax dollars running their agenda, here's how Paul Barry mischaracterised that.
But come Tuesday evening, Chris Kenny had a scoop for Sky viewers with news of a dramatic reversal.
A scoop? Really? A dramatic reversal? Barry is a grown man, yet this is how he toys with the truth. Says a lot, doesn't it? He played the clip, not all of it, of course. He didn't want to show any of my scepticism that might undercut his attack. Anyway, we are indebted to Barry. Well, not really to him, I suppose, but his team of about 10 staff who put his 15-minute program together. The Media Watch team could have examined how the media failed to scrutinise Premier Andrews' curfew, how it took some questions from Neil Mitchell on Melbourne Radio 3OW more than a month after the curfew was imposed to reveal there was no medical or police advice or even consultation on the measure. But no, Barry wanted to criticise me, so he and his team fiddled around on Twitter and, surprise, surprise, they reckon they found proof that that little poll I showed you and was sceptical about was manipulated by someone. So there you go. The poll was later deleted. That's why I said you don't normally pay attention to online polls and that we should wait and see what happens. Still, aren't we lucky the ABC spends millions of dollars on this ideological show so Barry can run his personal agenda? Meanwhile, Barry still hasn't corrected his deceptive and misleading reports about the missing link between drought and climate change, ongoing trials into treatments for COVID-19, and his constant misrepresentations on others' reporting of climate change. This is a grown man who thinks Twitter is the real world, is paid $200,000 a year by you for 15 minutes of pure old games a week. Let's get a fact check on that. We spend more than $1 billion a year on the ABC and no one's in charge.